The plan for tonight's stream, for people who are curious and are here a little bit early, is to start with, we're going to get, we're going to attempt to get ollydbg working. So, a couple people have mentioned that ollydbg is much older than I thought it was. It turns out it's actually so old that they supported Windows 95 at one point. So we're going to try and get that working. Hopefully that'll give us a better debugging environment to work on. And it'll give us a little bit of a good place to start from. So if you caught the stream last Wednesday, we started looking at IE 5.5. And the, I guess, short explanation of what happened was that we got started on it. We started trying to land this bug. And it turns out that it's actually a little trickier than I was expecting. Because instead of... on this way? Oh, I'm putting these on wrong. That's why this is so much harder than it seemed like it should be. Anyway, so we started looking at this IE 5.5 stuff. And like I said, the short explanation is that Windows 95 does not have any of the debug capabilities built into it or readily available that I'm used to when doing this stuff. So for a lot of the previous stuff that we've done, we were able to use, a real debugger, GDB or WinDebug or something like that. However, oh no, where'd it go? However, for Windows 95 stuff, we were stuck basically without a debugger. So the trick we came up with on Wednesday was that we could take the we could take the crash dump reporter, and the crash dump reporter for Internet Explorer would actually call out to, so it would save off a core dump into C Windows temp, and we could take that core dump, and if we took it, we were able to then pull it off the system. We basically FTP'd it off to the Linux server that we've been using for a lot of our testing, and then take it from there and put it onto the Windows host I have here, and basically use the Windows host then to run WinDebug and actually step through the core dump a little bit. We also did a little bit with just playing with it. So the crash reporter has built-in the capability to take a look at what is going on to some degree. So you get a little bit of register state, a little bit of memory state, nothing major, but enough that you could get a little bit of an idea of what was going on. If I really, really knew the application, then I could probably open up a disassembler, take the binary apart and get an idea of what was going on with it. Unfortunately, while we've made some progress with figuring out how the IE 5.5 stuff works, we don't really have a full grasp of what's going on. So, just looking at the crash dump didn't help much, although we were able to identify, what exactly is going on. So I guess maybe that's a part that I forgot to explain, is that we didn't just randomly find a crash. What we ended up doing was we took the WebKit test suite and put it on a web server. Took quite a while to write a test harness to actually run it. But once we got it running, we essentially put together a simple JavaScript loader to load up each of these pages in the WebKit test suite. So the WebKit test suite includes a whole bunch of files which are marked as crashing inputs. At one point or another, these inputs each caused a WebKit of some version to crash. Now, we don't know, or at least I don't know exactly which one that is, but one of them did. Let's get rid of this for a second, because it is now past 7 p.m. So we don't know exactly which version it is, and for a lot of these, they're supporting things that the modern, well, I can't say modern, the ancient version of WebKit that we're taking a look at doesn't support at all. So, a lot of those tests didn't do anything. Some of them did cause a crash. A few of them caused crashes in interesting ways. There's at least some reason to suspect that a few of our inputs that we haven't marked cause crashes, although we haven't firmly identified which those are. And when I say reason to believe, the reason to believe is that we can see a log of all the crashes that have occurred with the PC they occurred at, and they don't line up with the crashes we know about. So it's not a particularly solid reasoning, but at least lets me believe that there may be some other crashes if this one absolutely does not pan out. So with that said, my keyboard is all dampened a little bit, so now when I'm typing along, it's hopefully not going to get picked up on stream quite as much as it has been in the previous versions. So, we did that. I've got this a little bit dampened now. We need to get ourselves some ollydbg and see if that works. Let's remind me later. We can update this later. And we'll pull this over here so we can see a little bit better. We'll come up over here, ollydbg. So, supposedly, we'll be able to take, actually, the ollydbg 1.10, which is the last fully released version of ollydbg, not the 64-bit version. I guess they eventually did release version 2.01. But what we want is we want the ollydbg 1.10. Because, of course, why wouldn't we want that? cd var www. We have this, and Gunvale mentioned, and I should have thought about this before, we're in a VM here. Rather than having to keep making sure we were running as root, let's just set our entire directory to be world read write. Oops, I want to do a chmod -r, right? Much better. So what this is doing, right, is we're going through and we're just saying that all of our HTML directory here should be read, write, execute for all users, because, you know, it's a VM. We don't need to worry about security, right? What's the worst that happens? Pretty sure that, like, if you're going to mess with my VM, there are much easier ways to do it than this. For example, you could do something like, I don't know, send me random links in the chat and see if I click on them. Spoiler alert, I've clicked on a lot of links out of the chat. So, it's taking a little bit longer than I was expecting it to. I guess the recursive chmod is a little bit slower than I hoped it would be. Oh, right. We've got like a full clone of the repo for both WebKit and V8. So they've got not only all of the files that contains, but also all of the history. Because I think we did a full clone, not just a download of the source code. So this might actually take a little while. But yeah, so supposedly, if we take a look at this over here, let's pull this in so it actually is in the window. According to the... So when I looked at this originally, I looked at ollydbg and I was like, ollydbg is, you know, the first version was in 2000. Like, I don't know if it's going to work or not. And I did not look at the system requirements page. Or if I did, I skimmed it and I saw, oh, Windows NT or 2000, you have to have admin rights. And that there's some stuff that it doesn't work on for Windows 3.1. Of course, what I apparently did not read here was the part where it says that it works on Windows 95, which solves a big problem that we had on Wednesday, that we were trying to get the debugging on Windows 95 to work, and it turns out that there aren't really good options for debugging on Windows 95. At least not that I was able to find. So if we do this right, I should be able to do this. Is this gonna work? No, this is not going to work. So I want to cd into HTML. We're going to wget. Do I have copy and paste working into this VM? I do. Do. Oh. So this is pulling that in. Let's make dir ollie see ollie move ollie debug into here. Unzip it. Okay. Because Windows 95 didn't come with a way to unzip a thing. So we're unfortunately going to have to download each of these individually, I believe, which is kind of a pain, but I guess it's only a few things. So debug help, we'll need the psappy, we need the executable, we, I guess, need these two DLLs too. Well, who knows? Maybe we don't need some of these things, but we have them anyway. And now, if everything works the way that the internet has told me it works, we should be able to come in here and run this thing and have it act. Oh, crap. Wow. So again, if you missed the stream on Wednesday, one of the things we ran into is that mouse acceleration can be kind of a pain. The dynamic link library psappy.dll is intended for use on NT-based operating systems only. Delete it. Yeah, sure, why not? So, again, if this works, we should be able to open our iExplorer. So, Program Files, Internet Explorer. We can see this, right? Let me make sure we can see this properly. Yeah, this looks good. iExplorer. Should be able to open it. We should be able to hit play. Module has an entry point outside the code. Okay, don't care. So this is loading. So the one warning that I received about doing this is that ollydbg, while it probably will work, is going to... How do I do this? I want to... It's been a long time since I've tried using ollydbg. I want to step into... No, I want to... The last time I used ollydbg was many years ago. Actually, I think the last time I used ollydbg was when somebody sat me down in front of a computer and said, here's ollydbg and an executable, go at it and find a bug. Well, it wasn't find a bug, it was here's a crash, try and triage it real quick. And that's been quite a while since then. Shift F7 will apparently do something. Okay. Oh my god, this is so bad. Shift F9? Why is that, like, page faulting constantly? Can I do ignore page faults? God, how do I use this? Okay, I want to... How do I do this in here? I want to... Control Shift F9. Like... Okay, this is not going to work. We are going to open with an argument this time of 192.168. What did we say our IP was here? Cancel. So instead of doing it that, oh, come on. Well, this is exciting, I guess. So we said our IP address when I lost my mouse again. So our IP address is going to be, and let's load it over here so we remember it, 192.168.5.131/crash2.html. So this causes a crash in our Internet Explorer. So if we pass that as an argument, 192.168.5.131/crash2.html, probably want to give it a HTTP here. This should hopefully get us where we want to go. Entry point, go. Don't care. Don't care. Anyway, what I was saying before we ran into all these problems, options, debugging options, exceptions. Okay, it was, if we have more problems, we will try and fix that. So what I was saying before we ran into this was that one of the warnings I received about using this is that ollydbg, or any debugger prior to, on an OS prior to NT, apparently does not support, actually it's not prior to NT, it's prior to Windows 2000. Apparently does not support hardware breakpoints, which works okay. Like, it'll work and we can set breakpoints, but it means that we're going to end up going a lot slower because of it. And with that said, this is doing something complicated, isn't it? Where'd all our HTML go? So vim crash2. What are we doing here? Let's delete that. Yeah. Let's get rid of all this fancy JavaScript stuff because it probably doesn't add much to what we're doing, and it's going to take a lot longer to run because of it. Because like I was saying, because we're doing software breakpoints, it means that it's not going to be able to just go. Like, normally, if we could use hardware breakpoints, we would say, if the processor ever equals this PC, you know, crash for me. So we are trying to read FFFF, which I don't think is what we want. Or is it? It's confusing. So this, I believe, is actually our crash, right? This EIP looks familiar. We're in MS-HTML-ED. We're trying to dereference ECX, which is currently null, which I think is what we were looking at before. We can confirm this, can't we? How do I load this up? I want windbag x86. And here is our windbag x86. I want to open a crash dump. Which of these was it? I think they're the same thing, aren't they? And if I do .ecxr, we get our exception, and our exception was at that address from a move. Yep, this looks like a crash then. So let's get rid of it. Can I not do that? That's unfortunate. You can come over here to someplace I don't care about seeing. You can come over here. You can come over here. So yeah, this looks actually basically identical. EDX is a little bit different, and I think that's a heap pointer, right? Which is not surprising given that we are not doing the same allocations. Our stack pointer is the same because we don't have ASLR. Our EBP is the same. Our ESI is different, but again, we're not making the same allocation, so I'm not super surprised. So yeah, that looks pretty reasonable. Like, this looks like basically what I was expecting to see. So now what? Well, now what is we got this up. So we have this. Let's take a look at what this thing is actually doing. So in order to do that, we want to get the MS-HTML ED off, which we already did. Did we already do that? Don't remember. Downloads. Did I already pull MS-HTML? Yes, we already did that. And do I have a binary ninja so that I can actually open this? I appear to not have this installed already. So, unfortunately, please bear with me for a minute here. We will be installing a binary ninja real quick so that I can actually hopefully do something with this. So while we could use something other than binary ninja, it's something that I'm at least relatively familiar with and can use to get most things working. Wait, what? I already have the license file, but I don't have the executables? That seems like a silly decision for me to have made. Okay. Recover my license. So if you haven't used Binary Ninja before, I think one of the kind of more annoying things for me is that every time I need to install it on a new system, I have to request a new copy of my license. Basically, the way to get an executable is they set up a 48 or 72 hour link into EC2 that will work for that time period, and that after that time period no longer works. So if I have the executable, it works fine, I install it, we're done, everybody's happy. If I don't already have a copy of the executable, then I have to go through and request a new license and wait for it to come down, wait for the email to come through, grab it, download it. Like, it's not a huge hassle, but it is definitely a little bit more than I would ideally like to do. Sure, let's get a desktop shortcut in here. We're going to run this. We're then going to take this over here. And actually, where did you go? Here, let's load this over here. Yep. Locate. I have a license over here. Okay, and we're all good. We're going to update it real quick, and we need to remember to switch over to the dev update channel, just because the dev channel is definitely the way to go, especially if you're doing anything weird. They've made a ton of really good improvements to it that are definitely worth having, especially things like the type system and things like that. It just works a lot better. So this is going to download for a second. We're going to restart it, and then we should be able to take a look at this thing, get it pulled up here, hopefully get a reasonably good idea. One thing that I'm hoping does not happen, and I'm a little bit concerned about, is if their PE loader is going to support whatever format a Windows 95 DLL is in. I don't think it's going to matter. I think that the the PE spec is backwards compatible so much that it shouldn't be a problem. But we're going to find out. We're going to see how well the Binary Ninjas will open up a DLL that was... So if this is from, 95, well, it's probably from let's say this is from 98. I don't actually know when this version of Internet Explorer was released. We can actually check that, can't we? So if I come in here, I want to start it up. Help. about. Does this have a version in a like number in here? It'd be interesting to see. Or are we just freezing here too? That's exciting too. Oh no. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like the DLL were opening. Like, I think the authors were in like maybe high school when this DLL was written. So wouldn't be terribly surprised if it isn't supported. High school, maybe middle school, I don't know. They're not that old. Okay, so that worked. I want restart this. Yes. You're going to, of course, be able to own my computer, and I am not going to complain too much. Where did you go? So the Binary Ninja updater is... Ooh, this is fancy. I haven't seen this before. Apparently there is now a Binary Ninja updater that's going to run for me. And it went away. Ooh. Ah. Okay, so coming over here, I want to grab the MS HTML-ED. That actually loaded up reasonably well. Okay, so we're going to come in here now. OX70F40491. So what about go 70C8FC08? OX70C8FC08. So where were we? We walk backwards here a little bit. Fortunately, I don't know where the function prologue is. What I was hoping was that we would actually get that. And do I get... Can I get a stack trace here? Call stack? Call stack would be cool. There we go. That's a call stack. Okay. So if we go to go OX, we can see this, right? Yeah, we can see that. Okay. 704 1B6A. Go OX70F41B6A. There we go. We are here. If we say this is going to be a function, B6A was here. We now got a whole bunch of extra stuff now because it went through. This is the start of the function that causes the crash, right? Where are we? BB6. So this is where we are. I want to show addresses, so I actually kind of know where we are. And we're going to look for BFE, because, of course. BFE? That doesn't sound quite right. Did we actually go back a level on accident here? Yeah, we went back a level, didn't we? Oh. Come back over here. I want this. So BF9 was calling this. And then to actually get where we crashed was... Of course, my scroll wheel doesn't work, so I don't get to actually scroll. Right there. So 7OF40491. 404. It's our office number, actually. Looking for a 404. 40491. 70F40491. Let's actually just go to it instead of trying to guess here. So, what did we do here? We pulled a variable out of, so one of the arguments to this function. We pulled it out. We then wrote it into memory, and we tried to dereference it. Well, that's unfortunate. Right, so let me make sure this works right. We read a variable out. ECX came from EBP minus 8. And then we wrote it. We then tried to push it. We wanted to dereference a value out of it. So that pretty solidly seems to mean that if we went to EBP, can I double click here? No, I can't. I can modify it. I can't just go to it. So EBP is 9.8, and we want minus 8. So 90, that is definitely null bytes. Okay. So gets dereft. How does this work? So oh, right. Okay. This is giving me cross references to the instruction I'm at, not this particular variable. Can I find that anyway easily? Oh, we definitely use this quite a bit, don't we? Okay, so this is good. So if we go up a couple blocks, we see that this came from EDI, which was saved off there. EDI came from... Oh, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. Where did EDI come from? Like, EDI is not... EDI is a register that gets messed up in a call, isn't it? So, like, this call... just... Oh, I guess they do restore ESI, so... I guess this calling convention, whatever it is, does not mangle EDI. So now we have to... Oh, actually, do we get... wonder if the medium level IL will be any more useful. So if we went to... Oh, no. We... Where are we? 704. We want 70F40491. This looks somewhat reasonable, right? 9.1. Where's 9.1? 9.1. Here we go. 9.1. We dereference ECX, which is what we expect to see here. ECX 12 is gets dereft. Gets dereft is set to null here. Ooh, I didn't catch that when we looked at that before. So we set it to null here. We then call this sub to presumably set it. We write it here that it should be as an argument, and that's going to get filled in. So if we go back to the assembly, we should see, yeah, we're doing an LEA here, not a... Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I was glossing over that when I was looking at it. So we did LEA here. We're going to call it as 1 to 3rd argument. So what are we doing in here? So we have var 8. No, we want arg. So arg 8 is going to be... Come on. The second argument? Is that right? Oh, but we're pushing it? That's odd. Wait, what am I saying here? We can use breakpoints, can't we? We said we can use breakpoints. Let's see if that's actually true. So we want to do I want to reopen this with the same argument. Yes, go ahead and die. And I want to break. So we probably want to load both modules. So we have module 1. And then we have a second module, which is going to load and complain about it. Yes? 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 Oh, did you decide you wanted a new IP address? Is that what's going on here? That'd be unfortunate if that's what's happening here. You currently have no IP address? Sorry, there we go. You now have an IP address again. So, gonna work? Let's just reopen it, actually. I figure it can't hurt to reopen it, given that it is gonna time out or something if we don't. So we're in our main thread. I see, can I see the modules? So we do not currently have our, we don't currently have our, whatchamacallit loaded. So play. Okay. So we just loaded a ton of stuff. Pause. And I wanted the executable modules. Do we currently have our MS-HTML-ED loaded? It is in fact loaded. So if we come in here, how do I do this right? I want to go to an address, right? Go? No. No. How do I do this in memory? No. There's got to be a way to do this, right? It's been so very, very long since I have used ollydbg. Don't want my CPU. I have the CPU I need. I thought you you open the memory window. I want 70F. I want the text section of this. There we go. 70F404. Gotta be a better way to do it. 404. Oh no, I want 408. Apparently that's just prior to this call, right? Yeah, 408D6. D6. Yes, here we go. Oh, no, mouse acceleration. Don't kill me now. Okay, I want to breakpoint here. Certainly hope this works. Go. And we crashed. Crap. Can I not set breakpoints? If I do 40, I want 408D6. So let's do it in this window. 408 D6. I want to breakpoint. Toggle? Sure. Restart? Yes. Like I was saying, one of the things that I was warned of, I think I've mentioned this a couple times now, is that breakpoints are going to work a little bit weird with this because process separation is a little bit weird in Windows 95. Fortunately, that just cleared all our breakpoints. This is awkward. Wow. I'm not actually sure what to do here. So I can't set a breakpoint because it's in a library. And we can't set a breakpoint until it's been loaded, apparently. I can't do that. We do know that this is a null deref, which is potentially interesting. What are the other arguments here? So we pulled what that is. What is... So EBP minus 8 was this. This was EBP minus... Oh, EBP plus 8? Argh For, not local for. So EBP plus 8 would be AO, which is this thing. Address, go to expression. No, I don't want to do it in the stack. I want you to give it to me in a new... Can I get it in a new window? Or copy to a clipboard. Like I want memory? Yeah. Go to address. There we go. 12967FO. So this is what that Argh For was. Can I show this as... There we go. So what the crap is this? This is whatever the argument to whatever this thing is. So if I should be able to change this type, it accepts 1, 2, 3 arguments. So void star EAX is something we don't know what it is. A void star B and void star C out. Okay. Does that not work? How does that work? Grumble, 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 grumble. Okay. And I can't easily set it here either, can I? Void star, comma, void star, comma, void star. Huh? About int. Okay. Okay, so arg 8 is going to be the second argument, I believe. Is that the second or third argument? I feel kind of dumb that I'm asking this question, but Argh For. Like, I don't know. this is hard. Like, looking at this with a calling convention that I'm not entirely familiar with is kind of a pain in the ass. So we pushed it, and then we moved it. So that's +4, -4, +4. So argh for is argh2, and argh8. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. I think it makes sense. +4 is the thing at the top of the stack. +8 is argh1. So argh for is argh1. If that's not confusing enough. Because we called, which pushes a value. So, and then we pushed, which pushes second value. So we're now +8 from wherever we were. Then we move that over, and we have this. So, wait, am I going the wrong direction again? I might be going the wrong direction here. I should also stop playing with that. That's the baggie from the O-rings that I was putting on before we got started here. So, where are we? So we come in here. Really wish I could breakpoint on this thing. That'd make this a lot easier. So argh for is getting used, not particularly. So I also don't have the slightest clue what this structure is. And unfortunately, I don't think, I'm not aware of any resources for IE55 internals available publicly or not publicly. That's going to make things a little bit complicated. But we have this here. That's a little bit. So this tells us what was there. I feel like this is just outside of what I can recall right now, is the way these arguments are ordered. It's been so long since I've done this properly. Wait, can I just do this? Just going to work? Where were we? 7404. We called this, we set these things up, and okay, I'm gonna stop trying to do that because apparently I don't know how to set that properly. In order to tell it that this is a function that accepts arguments. Can I cheat here? Hello, do. Bookmarks are a plugin, not a default thing, right? Yeah. So we're going to highlight, or I want to grab this address real quick. Notepad. We're going to save this off. So this is OX70F408D6 is where we are. If I go down to one of these other functions, does this accept arguments? It does not. You know that this is accepting arguments here. Why are you not? Okay. Eat you, I hope you know that. So we call this with a bunch of stuff. We know that this is argh for wrapped. It doesn't really appear to be used anywhere else. ESP1 does get used a little bit. But not super used. Yeah, this is not helping me. We're going back to this. So we push it, it gets used in here, right? This gets used everywhere. Okay. So the problem here is that this has actually been written, presumably, it's actually been nulled out. Not that it's a, whatchamacallit. By a whatchamacallit, I mean, so this memory that we're dumping, we don't actually know what it is. It looks like a pointer of some sort, some value, a pointer, memory address, believe a heap, like I believe that's a heap pointer. Another address, null, 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 null. Then something, a pointer, something, null, null, or null. I should actually hover over here so we can actually see for whatever that is, a heap pointer, null, null, some very high address, pointer, null, null. Yeah, this is not getting anywhere. So how is the crash analysis going? Okay. We started off the stream getting ollydbg running, and it actually worked reasonably well. I'm a little bit surprised at how well it worked, given that I didn't think it was going to work at all. But it turns out it actually does work pretty well. So now we've got this crash. We just have to figure out what on earth to do with it. So we can see here, this, where are we? 40491. This address right here, let's highlight this. This right here is the instruction that causes our crash, because ECX is 0. And we got ECX out of this get deref. It's a, whatever it is, it ends up getting derefed. We need to know what it is. If we walk backwards a little bit, there are all these other branches. Maybe it's worth following those a little bit. But we walk back here a little bit, and we see that it, here we go, is populated as an argument. So a pointer to this address. So first actually, let's start over here. This right here starts off by being initialized to whatever EDI is. And EDI is, if we scroll up here far enough, I believe it's initialized to like 0 or something like that. But we could eventually come down, like in one of these functions, it's actually going to get set to something useful. And unfortunately, it looks like it's actually getting passed in, like here it's getting passed in as an argument. So if we assume that EDI is null, we come in here, we drop down here. Okay, I can work with this. So this function also accepts it as an argument, and it's the first argument on this one. So this one why is that asking for 2 arguments? We only pushed 1 value. Okay. So, okay, we're going to read 2 values, even though we only pushed 1. We deref here. We then write ECX into it. We do an LEA of it and put it in here. So if it's an actual value, let's think about this for a second. So this is going to be whatever it is. So this is some sort of like struct, which is some sort of state of a thing. We don't know what it is yet, but it's a struct, it's a state of a thing. Actually, let me think about this for a second. If I want ms htmled.dll, there are public because I can get debugging symbols here. So the debugger we're using here, Darius, is over here on the left, we have ollydbg, and over on the right, we have Binary Ninja that we're using to actually disassemble it. And I'm trying to look up... So I didn't think about it until we ran into an issue where it'd actually be incredibly useful, which is there are symbols for a lot of this stuff, but I need to actually get them. We've got the symbol server. How do I do this? I don't remember how to do this. I'm going to start by coming in here. We're now going to go into the Binary Ninja support chat, by which I mean the Binary Ninja Slack, and we're going to ask the dumb question, which is, how do I load a PDB, or how do I get symbols from the Microsoft Symbol Store? Question mark, enter. Okay, question asked. And someone will hopefully come along and tell me how to do this, because I don't have the slightest clue how to do this on anything that is not super modern. WinDebug. If we reopen this, to open a crash dump, yes, this one, .excr, we're going to reload this thing. We're back to where we are. So and I want to set okay, so I need to actually manually do this, apparently. So we're going to come in here, cd into downloads. This is because this is where I'm storing this. Sim check. It's not a thing you know what to do with, okay? If I load kits, I want the... Where do I get SimCheck? SimCheck. Where do I get SimCheck from? Something that is already on my hard drive someplace with the Debugging Kit? It's not there. Here. What is that? You don't see it here. Oh, this might not be the right directory. Where is SimCheck? It is part of the debugging tools for Windows. Okay, where on earth did those end up? So if I want properties for this thing... Oh, I put it on my D drive. Okay. That explains things. 80K... SimCheck. Nope. Oh no! That's unfortunate. Apparently, I shook my mouse, and that is one of the many... Okay, there we go. I think this is most of the stuff back up. So I accidentally shook my mouse there, and that threw everything down and went to the, what should I call it? Desktop. Okay, so we're back here. CD into downloads. This thing is what I wanted. And we said we were in 80K debuggers x86. I can do that. So d:/80K debuggers x86 sim check. Okay. /r, we want to pass in ms htmled /s srv star c :/symbols /star. Let's just copy and paste the rest of this rather than typing it. Ta-da! Image is split correctly, but .debug is missing. To the Googles again. What do you say about that? The Googles say... I can try again with a different path. Well, that doesn't help incredibly. That exist on our system? Did we have this here? Okay, we have to fight the mouse now to get it to go where we want it to go. So program files, Internet Explorer. Oh, I can probably find it in here, can't I? So if I go executable modules, it is in C Windows System. Okay. So not here. C Windows System. And I want, if I can get over there, I want, nope. C Windows MS HTML ed.dll. There's not a .debug there. Okay. Okay. Fortunately, this might be a this just isn't going to work because they've since removed the symbols or something. That'll be unfortunate. This is definitely what I want to see. The 4 results on Google for the thing we're missing. Awesome. Just what I always wanted. Okay, so maybe symbols are not a thing I'm going to get. How do I set symbols in WinDebug? I can do that, right? I can go like that. No, I want to do this. How about if I get rid of that? Crap. So unfortunately, this may indicate that we just don't get symbols for this thing. Although this guy claims that he was able to get symbols for it. So this guy being this guy. So this guy says, provide the local path. I don't have a local path. I mean, this is basically exactly what we're running into, right? Mismatched or not found. Yep, we got that. Also download the symbol file from here. Okay. Ugh. So this might work? E:/symbols. Okay. How did this guy get them? Like, I would really like to have some symbols for this, because otherwise we're reversing out whatever random object-oriented stuff they gave us. Like, if this is an indication, they're definitely using C++ and trying to, like, oh, actually, just looking at this, like, that looks like they're accessing a vtable, right? That they dereference it and then hit call an offset of it, like that. We dereference it. We call with what we dereferenced, and we're calling member 4, +4, which is going to be the first thing. And then we're going to come in here. ESI is whatever we got out of dereferencing that thing. We're then going to call it with its this being that and calling the second members. Like, yeah, this is totally C++, and honestly, trying to reverse this out is going to be a huge pain in the ass. Is there an easy way to do this? Because holy crap, would that make things easier on me? Unless somebody in the chat just happens to have access to Windows symbols for me. Am I that lucky? Yeah, I'm not sure if anybody here is a Microsoft employee or something that could get me some symbols. Also, I've encountered a mispaired symbol. I don't care about that. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. Like, I'm asking for symbols from Windows 95. Like, hopefully that is not considered part of the secret sauce that needs to be protected or you're going to get fired. So, if anybody of you do have access to symbols, I would appreciate it. Just saying. I'd appreciate it. Okay. I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to say symbols may not be working for this. Because we did this, we defaulted to export symbols. I don't have to do anything special right now, it should just automatically download them. That's unfortunate. I think I may be running into the symbol server, just not having symbols for this version. Which is unfortunate, because having symbols for this would be great. It really would. What else can I do here? Oh God, this website looks awful. Wow. How is this supposed to be readable? Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. I want to reload. Sure. Bang sim noisy. Bang sim noisy. And we're going to reload it again. Okay, so what do we have here? That doesn't work. Couldn't map it from disk. We then try. We haven't tried that yet. We try and get here. User32.dll. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh. So, like, we actually aren't even getting this far. So it's trying to get the kernel 32 stuff and failing at that. Oh. Well, I guess I'm a little bit less surprised about that. Okay. So that didn't work. That doesn't work. Look at this. We're not going to get very far. Okay. Crap. Before we go too much farther, we come here. IE 5.5. So IE 5.5, the last version of Internet Explorer for Windows 95. Blah, 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 blah. So, really? Apparently, Internet Explorer at one point worked on OS X. That is fascinating. I had no idea. So it did work on 98. It also worked on ME in 2000, apparently. Did it work on XP? So 5.5 followed in July 2000. Wow, that is that's a thing. The full version will work on also Windows ME and Windows XP, but you will need to download it from on Windows 2000 or earlier and transfer the setup file to a newer operating system. So what I was kind of hoping for here is that maybe I could get this running on XP and have better luck at getting Windows XP symbols than the Windows whatever we're at. Windows 95 build. Because presumably, whatever version of Windows we're on is still, like, IE is still going to have the same bugs in it. But I am not thrilled with the idea of, like, going this really roundabout method to get this running on Windows XP to maybe reproduce the same crash. Do I already have an ISO downloaded? So Windows XP, at least, I do have as part of my MSDN subscription. So it's much easier to get set up rather than the many hours we spent trying to get Windows 95 running. But I don't see an ISO already downloaded, so that's going to be a long install if we decide to go down that route. We still don't have symbols. We do have a debugger, but we have a debugger that, while it will catch crashes and let us read memory, we can't actually breakpoint with. It's kind of dumb. Guess it's not, well, we can't breakpoint because we can't get, because the module's going to get loaded after we would want to breakpoint. So where do we end up getting called? So we're calling from JavaScript into MS-HTML. Any chance you'll be able to do symbols? Sure. Oh, you're going to force me to have local symbols? That's unfortunate. There are many. Oh, here we go. Duh, look at that. Restart this. We're going to go. See, all I needed to do was know how to use ollydbg or ollydbg properly. Because now that I do, and by properly I mean the way somebody with even rudimentary understanding of how WinDebug or ollydbg is used. Continue. Nope. MSW sock. Don't care. RPC, don't care. MSAFD. R and R20. MS-HTML, getting closer. MSLS31. Don't care about M32. JScript. Again, we're getting closer. We're now loaded the JavaScript module. And we have our MS-HTML ED now. So, I want to view code and CPU. And I want to go to... I hadn't considered that. Let's break... So hardware breakpoints don't work, which means we probably can't do memory breakpoints. I guess it's worth trying. Wow, this is complicated, whatever this function is. I have no idea what this function is, but it's actually much more complicated than I expected it to be. Because I kind of just assumed that this would just work. Let's breakpoint here. So if we do 70F 40401. And we're scrolling, and we're scrolling, and we're scrolling. It does always fascinate me how much easier certain things are when you have symbols, and that for potentially very good reasons, certain symbols are kept very closely guarded by Microsoft. Like, the people I know who do serious research on Microsoft systems are always super excited whenever they hear about some symbols getting leaked that are usually private, because getting a hold of those can speed up the debugging or like RE process by a huge margin. Okay, so we have a breakpoint here. Go. EIP is right here. Awesome. So we are now in the right function, it looks like. The real trick here, if I do... So EBP minus 8 is apparently what is going to get derefed, which is... That's interesting. EBP is not what I think it should be. Hit play here. Ah, so we get called here multiple times. Interesting. So we're actually ending up in this thing more than one time. So we want EBP minus 8, which should be 90. Which is right here. No, no, mouse, no. Come on, mouse. Right here. I swear, no, no, you're going the opposite direction I want you to go. This mouse acceleration is getting really old, really fast. Come on. Oh, mouse, why are you doing this to me? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna mess around a little bit over here. And we're gonna try this again. Okay, so we were here. This gets used actually in quite a few places. But where we eventually want to end up is OX704. 4070F 404. Crap, I forgot. 40491. Okay, so this is where we're eventually going to end up. The problem here is that there are all of these different paths that could get us there. I think maybe the most straightforward way to do this is let's pick one here. So 70F 408D6. Let's start there. 408. 408 D6. D6. And I want to breakpoint. Run to selection. We segfaulted. Okay. So this means we know that this branch, where do we go? So this branch right here and this branch are not the ones that, or this branch is not the one that we want. This is going to be painful because we're going to have to actually take a look at all the places where this could end up getting set and see if we can't get it that way. If only we had one of those fancy debuggers that let us walk backwards. But I do not even want to think about trying to get one of those to work on the Windows 95. Like, that sounds absolutely awful. What if I just breakpoint? If I breakpoint here, what happens? So we want to restart. Unfortunately, we're going to have to walk through this all over again. Don't care. So I want to breakpoint on the instruction that's getting called here because it's possible we're going to call it first when we... So I guess to back up a little bit, for people who didn't watch the Wednesday stream, basically the crash that we're getting, and we should be able to see it here, sources. So this is what we're running. minus we commented out this part right here to make it run a little bit faster. But what we're doing here is we're doing this design mode on, which I don't actually know what it does. We're then going to remove the document.body. After we do that, we're going to do an exec command of format block, and we're going to attempt to recreate it. So whatever is going on here, I don't actually entirely understand what's going on here, but there is a format block command which we're going to execute that on this old-ass version of Windows 95 and IE isn't checking something. So presumably one of two things has happened here. When we called this remove child, either it wrote nulls into a pointer someplace, which is why we're getting null bytes, or, sorry, I'm going to scroll down here, or it freed it and for whatever reason decided that it would be a good idea to initialize it, like reinitialize it to 0. So we don't know that it's being reinitialized or not. All we know is that it's currently null at whatever point we're at here. So let's take a look. 70F. We're going to have to scroll quite a bit to get here. Let's drag a little bit. Doop 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 doop. 70F3. 3F. 40. 404. Oh, too far. 40491. Breakpoint. Go. So yes, the first time we called here, like we called here at one point, and we actually got a pointer back, which is very useful information. So this tells us that at least at some point, we were able to call this successfully. And it's returning, come on, like it's returning this, whatever this is. And this is, that's got pointers in it. I don't actually know, I actually don't have the slightest clue what the Windows like default heap looks like on Windows 95 and this version of NTDL. So the heap addresses are apparently a fair amount lower if I trust Ollie's explanation. So we have 0129. It's this, whatever this section is. We don't actually know what it is. So there was programs, internet. It's like, does this look heapy to me? It's kind of heapy. Like, I'd buy that this is like a private heap of some sort. There's some strings there. Looks like there's some nice looking pointers in there. A lot of nice looking pointers in there. I'll buy that that's a heap. And we wanted to go and tell me, we went here in memory. Is there a size here? Do we see a size? Well, size does not immediately jump out at me. Although 290800. That's a pointer into the heap. It might be the start of the heap if we took a look at that. That's a pointer. Yeah, so if it is a... whatever this pointer that's being returned here is, it's a start of something, clearly. But I'm not convinced that it's the start of a heap block unless it's a heap block that doesn't have metadata immediately prior to it, which is at least somewhat uncommon. So what's my next option here? So we have this. And this is the first time this has gotten called. Well, let's take a look at some of these other things. So we have EAX, which is currently pointing at a thing, which is where we wrote it to. What does this thing look like? So we wrote this here. Do I see anything else? EAX is a stack address, which is interesting. I guess. EDX is in some other thing. These are stack addresses. ESI, what does ESI look like? ESI, don't look like much of anything. So this is a pointer that is close to where we are. This is a pointer immediately after where we are. This one's before, right? No, this is still after. It's pointer after, some null bytes. And I have no idea what this is. Actually, now that I say that, it looks a very little bit like, so having the same pointer twice like this reminds me of a free list from DL Malik. And now that but saying that, like, I'm not sure that I buy that that's actually what this is, given that it's so old. But again, having said this, like, this is pointing to this plus 10, so here. So 2 pointers pointing to plus 8, 10, 18 hex. That's a little suspicious, right? And then the next one is a little bit farther down, and then it's got this thing. Like, they should be pointing to themselves, though, shouldn't they? If this was proper, like a proper free list here, that's what that would look like. Huh. So that's might not be particularly useful, but it is a thing that's worth keeping in mind. EDI is null, don't care about this other stuff. Okay. So let's jump to the next time this is called. Jump to the next time this is called. So this is the time where we're going to crash. And looking at the difference, ESI is still the same thing. Did those bytes change? I think those bytes changed. I wish I remembered. Wait, what am I saying? I'm live streaming this. I can just watch my instant replay. Okay. Play. Okay, so looking at this, and I unfortunately can't show this on screen because I need it full resolution to be able to tell what's going on. So I can't actually get it into the stream. But looking at my instant replay here, it says that 1700E30 was 0170OF50, and then this was in fact set to a value. This was set to 01295CEO. So at some point, that value was nulled out, presumably when we deleted it. And while we don't actually get anything out of it, I don't think it does anything useful for us either. Sure. So looking at this, I'm kind of skeptical that it's actually exploitable. Given that the biggest difference that I see that immediately jumps out to me is that there's a pointer that's relatively close by to the thing that we usually get. It's not right on it, but it's within a few hundred hex, which has been set to nulls, and then we end up getting a null deref out of it. And while it's far from conclusive, that does kind of say to me, maybe we should move on to another one. So, we have plans for this. So, we're going to come in here. I want to debugging options. Do not care about this. Don't care on any of this other stuff. Under exceptions, I want to ignore... Yeah, we'll ignore that. And we want to reopen this. So if you weren't with us for Wednesday, we made crash.html, which is going to open up many windows for us. So let this run. Okay. And okay. Don't care. Shift F9. You're going to end up hitting this all the time, aren't you? Because you're using that as a way to talk to the kernel, aren't you? Okay. What if I do... get rid of these? Control F9. So all those went through and nothing happened. And so if you remember from Wednesday, what we were able to do here is vim crash.html, delete it. We actually specify here where to start. So let's start again from 0. We're going to replay this, let it go. Go ahead. I wish I could disable that message too, but I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, and it would appear none of those caused a fault. So it's going to be tricky here is, I believe this is the group that has the fault that we actually care about. Let's see if we trigger it. it's going to be unfortunate if we can't actually do this testing, because we're going to hit an exception and okay, hit an exception, which is good, I guess. Well, we haven't hit an exception, but we stopped doing anything. You know, this would be quite a bit easier if I was able to get a... I know. No, I want to hit yes. Please, mouse. Mouse, go the opposite direction. No, you're going the wrong way. Mouse. There we go. Okay. Maybe I do need to enable those. Is there an easy way to do this? Like, go. Don't care. Don't care. How do I see what the exception is? You... Like, I want to try and skip just this exception. And it appears that it's not easy to do that. Like, I want to say, if it is a memory access violation of this address, go ahead and continue. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we get a little bit more progress. I don't think I'm going to go too much longer tonight. It has been almost 2 hours now, and I need to get back to some challenge writing. I've got some finishing touches I need to do on some CTF challenges I'm putting together for a couple different events. Unfortunately, they're both private events, so a couple different people had asked me to put together challenges for some like in-person CTFs they were helping to run. Yes, that is Binary Ninja. We've been using it to disassemble the DLL that we have a crash in. But yeah, I've got a couple of challenges I need to get wrapped up. One of them I need to get wrapped up tonight or in the morning. The others I need to get wrapped up soon. For people that are interested, I plan on publicly releasing them in early October. It's going to be a series of challenges, I guess to tease about them a little bit. Instead of doing the kind of canonical CTF thing where you're presented a menu, you put in a number to select a thing, you then go down that like menu, like there's this menu tree, we go down it, we activate a thing at each, you know, rather than doing that, because I think that is indicative of a class of bug that doesn't exist much anymore. While it still does exist, that method for interacting with a program is not very common anymore. Especially for like modern exploitation stuff, a lot of the bugs that you're going to end up with are actually in the form where I get to give you a program to run, and then that does stuff that causes a problem somehow in the API. And I don't remember who did it, but somebody in the spring put on a CTF that included a Lua-based challenge. It was a Pokemon game, or a Pokemon knockoff game, where you were able to, you get a Pokemon, you get to set up an attack for it, you fought a random enemy, and it turns out there was type confusion in it. You were able to set it up such that instead of calling the function you were supposed to, you ended up getting to, like, get arbitrary memory rights or something like that. And you then had to leverage that to turn into arbitrary code execution. And that type of challenge, I think, is fascinating, one that I'd love to see more of. So I've been spending some time putting together challenges like that. The one that I just wrapping up right now is a space trading simulator. Basically, if you ever played like the old like drug wars, where like you go to one city and you buy some stuff, and you go to another city and you sell it and you buy some more stuff, and you go to a different city, and so on and so on. It's basically that, but with a space theme and a bug in it that I hope is going to be exciting for the people doing it. Other than that, I've got a couple other skeletons that I need to put together for other challenges. And then come October, which is about a month and a half away, I'm going to basically put them up on a server on the internet and release them and let everybody take a crack at them rather than just the people who got to participate in these private CTF events. But in order to do that, I have to make sure they're all completed before those events run, which is in the near future. So unfortunately, tonight is going to be called off pretty soon. We're not getting it as far as I'd like to get, and I need to rethink a little bit about what we're doing. I think what I'm going to end up doing is before Wednesday, we're going to build a Windows XP VM and see if we can't get IE 5.5 running on Windows XP, do some more crash analysis from there, and then backport this to Windows 95 once we have something that I like the look of a little bit more. Other than that, so Wednesday, sounds like... So last Wednesday, I started my stream right after Ginvale's stream ended, which ended up being a little bit before 4 p.m. my time. And I liked the way that worked out. I was able to do a full, almost 5 hours of streaming. We made a huge amount of progress, like building a simple test harness, getting familiar with Windows 95 and Internet Explorer 5.5. We made really quite a bit of progress in that range of time. So at least for the near future, I'd like to try doing that more. Unfortunately, if you don't follow Ginvale's IRC on Freenode, he's had to cancel this week. Apparently something came up at work. I assume he's going to get stuck in long, terrible meetings, but he didn't say. It's that time of year that I kind of suspect this might be the yearly review is going to come stomp him. Either him giving reviews for people or getting a review, but who knows? In any case, his stream is going to be canceled. So Wednesday, that's 2 days from now, I will be starting early. I don't have a good time. I suspect I'm going to try and start around 3 or 4 Eastern. So about the same time that Ginvale's stream usually ends, even though he isn't running it. But I'm not entirely sure. It's mostly going to end up coming down to I have meetings in early afternoon, and I'll start the stream after I'm able to get in and home and settled in after all those meetings, which, again, I expect to be done by 2-ish and then be able to get back here, get settled down, get everything put together, and get ready to stream by 3:30, 4 o'clock. But it might be a little bit earlier than that. I will make sure to tweet it out beforehand, so if you do not follow me on Twitter, I would definitely recommend it. I'm trying to be better about tweeting out a little bit of pre-notice, especially if I'm going to be starting early, about when the streams go up. So come Wednesday, I should be able to give like a 1-hour warning that I'm on my way home and should be getting going in about an hour. So that's going to be Wednesday. And so that people are aware, I don't expect to be streaming on Monday, next Monday, a week from today. I've got some stuff coming up that, well, I guess the easy explanation is I'm finally getting my wisdom teeth out, and I don't expect that I'll be up for doing much talking. It'll be 3 days after the operation. I expect it's going to take at least a little bit longer than 72 hours for me to be up to talking for a long period of time. So hopefully this Wednesday I'll be streaming, and then the following Wednesday, but we're going to have to play it by ear to see where I stand at being able to talk for long periods of time. It may end up having to take more than one stream off. So with that, everybody, thanks again for tuning in. Like I said, if you don't already do so, I definitely recommend trying to follow me on Twitter if you are interested in watching future streams. I'm definitely trying to be more proactive about letting people know when the streams will be going up. And I think while I'll be out and unable to talk, I'm going to try and put together some recap videos. Basically, go through and take, so like the PDF series, the PDF crack series of streams, I believe there were 5 or 6 hours of streams. Try and condense that down to, here is a short, like 5-minute video about what the bug is, how we found it, how we landed it, what all went into it. And then do the same thing with the NumPy streams and the Skylake streams. Because while those streams are very good for, while streams like this are good for watching me work, it doesn't help, it doesn't tell you as much in a single instance about what it is. So having both the, here is the full entirety of whatever this bug was, and being able to reference, here is all of the work that went into actually landing it, having both of those available, I think, is super useful. So that's a lot of ways of saying that I'm going to try and put together some actual short, normal, like more normal YouTube videos as opposed to these long streams where we're trying to figure out new things and learn. So yeah, with that said, thanks again everybody for showing up. And like I said, I will see you all on Wednesday, about 2 days from now. So thanks again everybody, and bye.